It started with the sky. Not a scream, not a bangust. A crimson sunrise and a silence too deep to be natural. Some called it a glitch in the weather. Others felt it in their bones that something ancient had awakened. And in Hollow Creek, the clock had started ticking toward the end. The sun rose blood-red over the town of Hollow Creek, casting a strange copper glow over the quiet streets. Morning should have brought a sense of peace, but instead, there was an unnatural stillness in the air as if the town itself held its breath. David stood at his living room window, staring out at the street. He hadn't slept. The old man's words echoed in his mind like a haunting refrain. "The hour is later than you think." Sarah walked in, rubbing her eyes, her robe wrapped tightly around her. "You didn't come to bed," she said softly. David shook his head. "Couldn't sleep." "Something's wrong, Sarah. I feel it in my bones." She sighed and walked over to him, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. "You need rest." That old man probably just wanted attention. Maybe he's not well. David wanted to believe her. He wanted to write it off as nonsense, but deep down, he knew better. Suddenly, the power flickered, the lights dimmed, then returned to full brightness. A moment later, the television turned on by itself, static filling the screen. Sarah jumped. "That's weird." David turned to the TV. The static shifted. For a brief moment, the screen flashed with a burning Omega City in ruins, fire falling from the sky, shadows moving through the smoke. Then it vanished. David turned off the TV, his face pale. "That wasn't a glitch," he muttered. The sanctuary was dimly lit, the usual warmth replaced with a chill that settled in the bones. "We need to talk," David said. Mark gestured for him to sit. "I figured you'd be back." David recounted everything, the old man's warning, the dream, the television image. Mark listened without interruption. When David finished, Mark stood and walked to his office, returning with a dusty book. He placed it on the table. "This was given to me years ago by a missionary who traveled through war zones and areas affected by spiritual turmoil. It talks about sin's prophetic ones." David opened the book and read, "In the final days, the veil shall weaken. What was once hidden shall walk in the open. The earth shall groan, and even time shall shudder." Mark continued, "Some believe we are entering those days." David glanced around the room.